Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back for the Monday afternoon show with Glenwyn, featuring on Cannon Fodder TV. Before we go any further, gently touch the like, share the video, and go over to GoonerMatterz and subscribe to GoonerMatterz and also subscribe to Cannon Fodder. Without any further ado, what do I want to talk about today for the afternoon show? There's so many things that one can say about Arsenal. Arsenal is such a unique club and it's such a unique team. But today I want to touch on so many things that could have been. I've said a few things in the past, and obviously there's so many things still to be said. But let's go into it. Right, Arsenal lost yesterday at home, 0 to Arsenal and 3 to Brighton. And Brighton had a horrific result last week at home to Everton. Everton was the visitors and they lost 5-1 to Everton at home at the Amex. And the Zabi obviously came out and said that he's gonna show the world or Arsenal who the real Brighton is when they play at Emirates yesterday. And they did show us who the real Brighton is. Now Brighton is a team that we all know that has done well over the last couple of seasons. Their recruitment has done well. And Potter left and the Zerbi came in and he just changed a bit of things that he wanted to change according to his style of playing football and how he can get the best out of certain players. Now you can obviously understand that Arsenal has done well this year. Don't take anything away from Arsenal. Arsenal has done pretty well this year, and that does not justify anything, any loss, any draw, any particular thing. Arsenal did very well, considering that everybody said they're not going to be in the top 4, but they top 2, guaranteed top 2. And there's still 2 games to go, obviously. Now City has played Real Madrid on Tuesday, they played Everton on Saturday, and now this week they're playing Real Madrid again. I made a little TikTok video on Friday, and I had a scenario and a thought in my mind, and this is what it was. City had to lose, or still could lose 4 points. Well, now they need to lose 5 or 6 points. But the scenario that I had on Friday was City need to lose 4 points, they would end up on 88. Arsenal, before yesterday's game, had to win all 3 remaining games for them to get the maximum 9 points and end up on 90, which obviously gives us the lead. Now City had played Real Madrid, sandwiched in between the first and second leg. It would have been Everton, which I thought and hoped for a draw, because Goodison Park was always a struggle for them. And but should they win Everton, which they did, and Wednesday night expecting Real Madrid to come to the Etihad for the Champions League game, and they lose that game, and this is the scenario that I had. Could that well be that City crumble because they wanted UEFA League so bad that they crumble after a loss on Wednesday night and completely bottle the games thereafter against Chelsea and Brighton and Brentford. Now, if you look at it, what the three teams did this weekend past, Chelsea came from behind to draw 2-2. Brentford convincingly won the Hammers, and of course, Brighton convincingly won Arsenal. That was the scenario, barring that Arsenal win all the remaining games. That was the hope, obviously, and it obviously was wishful thinking. And that showed a bit of arrogance on my part from a fan perspective. And now this is the thing that I want to talk about today, is that Arsenal, a bit of stats as everybody probably would have known and gone into it, home games. Thus far, we had won 14 home games and 3 draws. Now 14, it's 42 points plus your 3 points is 45 points currently at home. And away, we had won 11 games, also with 3 draws, and that put us on 36 points away, and obviously gives us the amount of current standing of 81. Now, and obviously we know we had 5 losses after yesterday, so 3 away losses and 2 home losses. 3 away losses was Everton, Manchester United and Manchester City, and the home losses was Manchester City and Brighton home yesterday. Now, this is what I want to unpack to us as fans. I've got a house. I've got rules in my house. And I invite you to come into my house. You're going to have to abide by my rules. I'm going to have to set the rules out for you either verbally, or I'm going to show you how it needs to be done. And nine points that we dropped at home. That's together with the 2 losses and the 3 draws. We lost at home 9 points. Am I right? 2, 3, 6, 9, yes. We lost at home. We lost 12 points away. Now, I'm looking at the house, the home part. Now, I'm inviting you into my home. I lay down the rules for you, whether I show you, whether I tell you how it works. And you disrespect me in terms of going against my rules. Now, before you say anything, listen to what I try to unpack here. And I use the word disrespect probably in a different context. Now, Arsenal has invited so many players or so many teams to the Emirates, and they showed those teams the respect at times and also the disrespect at times, considering how they won and how they played. Now, the rules has been laid in that 14 victories. They brought Liverpool there, they brought Manchester United there, they brought Chelsea there. And even Tottenham. Those are the teams that we deemed as the top, part of the top 6. And even Manchester City, even though they won us convincingly with a 3-1, the way we played, we laid down the foundation of the rules of the Emirates per se. We start well, we perform well, we score goals in excess of 2-3 goals, We annihilate teams and we fight till the death, until the end. And that's how we lay down the rules. We disrespect them. And in their homes, we went away and won 11 times when we went away, and also with the margins that was in excess of 2 or 3 goals. And that's how we disrespected them. And now it came back to us. And the difference between our disrespect and the disrespect they've shown us yesterday goes hand in hand what we've done in the past. So what I mean by this is, we have rules at home as Arsenal Football Club. We start well, we play well, and we contain. So we didn't do that yesterday, so we actually disrespected our own rules. And Brighton took advantage of that, which in turn they disrespected us. In the context I'm using disrespect is because our lack of discipline, our lack of putting our rules first, the way we have started this whole season, the way we have played this whole season. And it was almost to a point where, why did you do that all along up until the last 5-6 games? You can argue 8 games, 7 or 8 games. Then your hard work would have been then in vain because of the way you started the league, the way you played your away games, the way you played your home games. The fact that you've worked so hard, it almost grew some arrogance onto your way of doing things. Now, that is the reason why I use the word disrespect. Is that I come into your house, you've laid down the rules for me. In this case, Arsenal have laid down the rules for any team that came to visit, is that you have to dance to my tune. I control the game. I control the ball. You chase the ball. You chase my players. That is the rules that was laid down in the very start of the season. And we broke that rule by allowing, first of all, Newcastle to come in and take a 0-0 draw point from us. We allowed West Ham to come in. No, not West Ham. We allowed Southampton to come in, and they got a 3-3 draw from us. A massive points loss. And I think the other draw that we had at home was how can I not remember that? I just had it. Yeah, it was pardon me. It was Newcastle, Southampton, and for the life of me I can't remember. However, these guys came in and we allowed them to break our rule. Yesterday we've done the same. We never set the rules out for Brighton. Yes, we went to Brighton and we broke their rules and we have disrespected them in the same context. So they just came in and returned the favor. And this is where I go further in saying that, and I mean we've mentioned it so many times, is that there is no plan B in an Arsenal camp at this stage. This whole season, well, a few seasons now. No plan B. Please allow me to enjoy my cup of coffee. So, Arteta has done well from the very first whistle of the season. Him and the team Arsenal. And there were so many things that were said and it went against us. The first 5 games we played, it was told, the narrative was Arsenal didn't play anybody yet. Then we played the bigger teams and we came on top. And it was a ping-pong match between Arsenal and City. City wins, they go on top. Arsenal better that and they go on top. And so on and so on and so on. We know how the league went. But where I call Arteta out is that the plan B was never birthed this season. Should have been done way in the beginning. He came, ended up 8th. He came again, ended up 8th. He came again, ended up 5th. And now we are 2nd and we just dropped out of the title race. People will argue still there's mathematical chances of, but that means the City has to lose 6 points. Then that means they need to lose 2 games and draw 1. Well, they need to lose 8 points at least, which means if they draw 1 and they lose those other 2 games, they will only end up 86. And if Arsenal win their remaining 2 games, they will obviously end up on 87. So, which means City has to lose 2 games and draw 1. And that is the scenario that I had on Friday. That could still happen with the fact that if Real Madrid win them, and that's if, buts and maybes, and that's not why I'm going to go mad. The segment is basically about the ruthlessness or the lack thereof in our football matches. Now, Arteta should have birthed a plan B and a plan C a season ago. The reason why I say that is that this whole season, plan A worked completely. There was no room to introduce a plan B or C up until the West Ham game. There was no where he should have gotten the highlights. I tell you is that, or not the highlights. Where he should have realized that he needed a plan B is when Newcastle came to Emirates and draw 0-0. There he had to come to realization and say, Arteta, I need a plan B. Because today my plan A failed. Yes, you can argue that the referee this, the referee that, and we are not in the business of blaming referees, because we can't anymore, because we understand that there is poor refereeing, officiating, and all sorts of things. We have to do our job. That bottom line, nobody can take that away from you. If you do it convincingly and show PG and OL and the officials that I can win a game without you, that is what you have to do. We can't go around and blaming referees for this and referees for that. So again, I'm saying Arteta had to realize that in the 0-0 draw at home to Newcastle, you needed to understand that a plan B needed to be put in place. Maybe it would have been too late already. Therefore, from the very start of the season, you have to have a plan A, a plan B, and possibly C and D. And that is the failure of our season. Hence the fact that we sit where we sit now. So, this whole season, plan A worked up until the Hammers game. It worked for us. The comebacks that we had, it worked for us. And then hammers happened. They came back. Yes, we came back into Southampton, but why had we go to come back at home to Southampton? Why? We didn't have a plan B and still don't have a plan B. Then we went to City, then we came back and we did well against Chelsea and we did well against Newcastle, and yesterday we crumbled again without a plan B. Yes, we had chances, yes, we did a try, but plan A didn't work from the very start. Plan B wasn't available to introduce. Therefore, there is no C and D. And that is the lack that frustrates me from Arsenal. And the fact that the manager is stubborn almost to a point of arrogance. You can't win a league that way. So something needs to be given. And we as fans have to make that known. Make our voices known. Arteta has to soften up and listen to reason. Forget about your favorites. Forget about hurting this one and that one. Be ruthless as you have admitted a season ago that you have to be ruthless. You can't just be ruthless with a few people like you've done with Orba and Ozil and the likes of those type of guys. No. With the guys that's under you doing well, you still need to be ruthless. There is so many things of yesterday's game that can critique the fact that he was stubborn to change and tweak the game as it went on. You have to do that. That is unfortunately your job as a manager to make the changes to affect positive change in the team, in the match. Having no plan B gave another loophole to the Brighton players and disrespect you further at your own house. We can't invite teams to our home and come and disrespect us. We lay the foundation of the rules and we dictate the rules. We dictate the play. You chasing me, I have the ball, come get the ball, and we dictate the play. That is the rule of the Emirates, period. Klar, there's no ways around that. You need to stick to your rules. And if it means that you have to introduce plan B to maintain that, then introduce plan B very early in the game. Not wait until the last couple of minutes where you can't. And be ruthless and aggressive by saying to Saka, play on the left back, he's on a yellow card already, because that's what they're going to do to you. If Xhaka is on a yellow card, they are going to tell the players, work on Xhaka, he will flip and he will get a second yellow card and we have the upper hand. That is what you have to do in these times, because you can't be Mr. Nice Guy. You have to bring out the dark arts and you have to bring out the ruthlessness on the pitch and tell your players, teach them that and make sure that they implement it. And that could be your plan B or C or D or whatever, go to Z if you have to. But change and affect the game positively when you're at home, because that is your fortress. That is your fortress. There is no way that nobody's going to come in there and then can tell me how I must play. You can't dictate how I must do my job at home. No, you can't. And that is the lack we've had. 14 games we've won at home. We've drawn 3 and we lost 2. And that is 19 games that we've played at home. There's still 2 remaining games. Our last game at home is against Wolves and the next game is against Brentford. Not Brentford, Nottingham Forest. So we need to dictate how our rules is going to be followed at home. We can't have teams come in there and disrespect us at our own house. Have your thoughts, put down it in the comments, put down your finger on the like button and give us a thumbs up. Click the notification bell if you need the notifications to pop up and say, hey, Glenn is on a Monday afternoon. Cannon Fodder is on whenever time. And go over to Cannon Fodder or GoonerMatterz. Subscribe, like the channel, and let a Gooner grow with you. And this obviously has been Cannon Fodder.